Have you ever stared at a task for an hour and still didn't start? You know it's important, you want to do it, but somehow, cleaning your room feels impossible while scrolling for 90 minutes feels effortless, so you call yourself lazy. But what if that's not true? What if your brain isn't lazy and it's just confused? And once you understand why, everything starts to make sense. Your brain has one job: keep you safe, not successful, not rich, not disciplined, safe. Thousands of years ago, that worked perfectly. Saving energy increased your chances of survival. Doing unnecessary work could get you injured, or worse. So your brain evolved to ask one question before every action: is this worth the effort? Here's the problem. Your brain can't always tell the difference between what's important and what's immediately rewarding. That's why checking your phone feels urgent, even when finishing your project could change your future. Your brain isn't thinking about next year, it's thinking about the next 10 seconds, and that's where everything begins to fall apart. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads. One path is steep, it's uncomfortable, it takes weeks before you see any reward. The other path has bright lights, funny videos, endless snacks, constant entertainment, and rewards you instantly. Which path do you think your brain chooses? Exactly. Not because it's smart, because it's predictable. Your brain follows the strongest reward signal. Modern life sends thousands of those signals every day. Notifications, short videos, sugar, games, even checking messages for a second. Every one of them teaches your brain the same lesson. Pleasure should come now. Then, when it's time to study, exercise, build a business, or simply clean your room, your brain gets confused. It thinks, if pleasure is supposed to be instant, why am I working so hard? And suddenly, effort feels wrong. But this confusion goes even deeper. Think about the last time you planned your perfect day. Tomorrow, I'll wake up early, go to the gym, read 30 pages, eat healthy, finish my work. It sounds amazing until tomorrow arrives. Then your brain meets reality. The bed is warm, the phone is nearby, the task feels uncertain. Your brain hates uncertainty because uncertainty means risk. So instead of starting, it looks for certainty, and nothing feels more certain than habits you've repeated hundreds of times. That's why you don't automatically reach for your textbook, you reach for your phone. Not because you're weak, because your brain knows exactly what reward it's going to get. Your habits aren't random, they're predictions. And once you understand that, you stop blaming yourself and start fixing the real problem. So how do you unconfuse your brain? Not with motivation. Motivation disappears. You need clarity. Here's how. First, shrink the target. Your brain fears giant tasks. It doesn't fear tiny ones. Don't tell yourself, I'm going to work for 3 hours. Tell yourself, I'm opening the document. That's it. One tiny action removes uncertainty, and once movement starts, momentum takes over. Second, make the right choice easier than the wrong one. If your phone is next to you, soon your brain already knows where the reward is. Put it in another room. Leave your book on the desk. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Your environment teaches your brain what matters, long before your willpower gets involved. Third, teach your brain a new reward system. Most people celebrate entertainment. Very few celebrate effort. Flip that. Finish 20 minutes of focused work. Then enjoy your break. Complete your workout. Then watch your favorite show. Your brain slowly learns something powerful. Effort leads to reward, not the other way around. And once that pattern becomes familiar, discipline stops feeling forced. Here's something nobody tells you. Confidence doesn't come from thinking differently. It comes from collecting evidence. Every promise you keep to yourself, even a tiny one, tells your brain, I am someone who follows through. 1 page, 1 push-up, 1 minute. It seems too small to matter until you realize your identity is built exactly like that, one action at a time. So the next time you hear that voice saying, you're just lazy, pause. Ask yourself a different question. Is my brain avoiding effort, or is it confused about where the reward is? Because those are two very different problems, and only one of them needs fixing. You don't need more guilt. You need a brain that trusts effort again. Train that, and everything changes. Remember this, the life you want isn't built by waiting for motivation. It's built by teaching your brain that meaningful work is worth the effort. One small decision, one repeated action, one day at a time. Because you're not lazy. Your brain is simply following the rules it has learned. Change the rules, and you'll change your life. If this made you see yourself differently, don't just move on. The next decision you make today is proof of what you believe. Choose the harder thing, just once. Your brain will be watching.